Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Ms. Herbert,
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Present. Thank you so much for being here today, everybody. Columbia Public Safety Committee meeting agenda. If you can take a look, February 17th, 2026 had a fantastic meeting. Some of the highlights, we heard from CPD's place-based crime reduction in the Millwood Avenue corridor, as well as got a great update from our Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement.
Motion for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Mr.
That's a
Brown,
nice little summary.
Yes.
Ms. Herbert,
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes, thank you. So we had updates from CPD last week, and now we are turning it over the entire show to our wonderful Columbia Richland Fire Department for a great update. Chief Jenkins, take it away. Thank you, sir.
Wow,
Show.
what a show.
Don't disappoint us.
You will not be disappointed. You're going to be like,
So
wow.
far, so good. Look at that.
Yeah, that's, oh. See, we open with a bang. Well, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Brown, and Ms. Herbert, to our city manager, thank you all for allowing us to come before you today. Just to kind of give you an update of where we are and give you a snapshot about last year. And also, we want to take it into further that looking what we plan to want to accomplish.
Great.
First of all, what we're going to be presenting today, is not, these are some of the major things, some things that not really low-hanging fruits, but those things that we really feel like we need to be moving forward to, just so that we can make sure that we're providing the best fire service that we can. In my introduction, it kind of gives you a brief synopsis of kind of a little small tidbit about last year, but we're going to be moving more into some discussions. And of course, I know this to be true. If you have any questions, hold up.
Is that right on cue?
That's right on cue.
Got the book in the back pocket.
Don't ask us how we do it.
Oh, I haven't figured that out yet.
Ah, good. But anyway, we're going to move right into it because I know y'all time is valuable. I don't have the time, and I know y'all don't have the patience. So I say that in a good way. So we're going to move right into it. First of all, we're going to be talking about our operations. And as I move along, I'm going to have different folks come up here to kind of go over their areas. And I'll be introducing our staff. Of course, you got Chief Folsom, he's over the administrator. You got Chief Kip, who's over our professional services. We got Chief Holloway, who's over our operations. And we got Chief Owusu, who's over our health and safety. As y'all know, Ms. Wilson, George is still out, so he won't be here today. He's over our fire prevention, but I'm waiting on Benji to get here so he can kind of go over that. So first of all, what you want to talk about is just to break down a cause. Rescue, if you look at it, and we have a little more information for you as we go along. But during 2025, we actually ran about a little over 40,000 calls. Compared to 2024, we ran just over 38,000 calls. So that was a 4.1% increase in calls that we ran. And we got a graph on there. Go ahead and flip it up. We got a graph to kind of show you the calls that we ran. We're talking about building fires, grass fires, vehicle fires, brush fires, forest fires, and up to 18 of those calls, a little over 1,800 were fires, exit fires. And we even increased so we increased on our fires from last year. So, and even when we look at the amount of money that we're looking at more than 18 million in property loss and about 6 million in contents, like the furniture, stuff like that. We're responding by month. We look at January, March, and October as some of the highest call volumes that we had during those, and for whatever reason, I mean, it could be because January, a lot of people using their heat more. March, a lot of people burning stuff off. In October, that's kind of the beginning of the season that we're going into. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Also, top respond, our Station 1 at our headquarters, they were our top responding station.
Can you clarify what boundary Station 1 encompasses?
Station 1 is mostly in the downtown area. And also it touches on like down in, 5 Points, touches on USC, also touches on Shandon, and even going out towards St. Andrews area, as well as going down North Main in Miss Herbert's area. So it's a station that really touches. It's like a hand with fingers. It just touches all over. In particular, our rescue, because our rescue runs a lot of calls. Okay. And when we look at some of our most significant calls, but of course, when you look at, when we compare it to the city and the county call volume, our city runs about 22, a little over 22,000 of those calls, and the county run about 17,000 of those calls, or 57%, and compared to a 43%. If this was an election, then the city would win the election by 57% votes, okay? And we also have on here just our turnout time. And I'm gonna get Chief Holloway to more talk about our turnout times and what that means, okay?
So turnout time is important to us. The turnout time is important to us because it's a major part of how ISO grades our department in response. So the scoring for our response starts at the dispatch center, which has 60 seconds to get a call out, and then firefighters have 80 seconds to get their gear on, get onto the truck, and get moving. And those are really the most important numbers. So we try to keep our turnout times as low as possible, because that gives us the greatest amount of time when the truck is a little bit further from the call than the 4 minutes, which is the standard first unit arriving. So ISO expects the first unit to arrive in 4 minutes. And so we have to get out as soon as possible, because some of our stations are further away than 4 minutes to some of our residents. So this is the part that we can control. When we're getting out in less than 80 seconds and not making it in 4 minutes, that's when we have to start looking at new stations, because that tells us that the firefighters are doing their part as far as mounting the trucks and getting it, to the responding. But if we're still not making the 4 minute standard of cover, then we may need more stations in that area.
And we'll talk more about the ISO, but I do want to throw a commercial in here to say that, hey, we are a Class 1 fire department. But what you all have invested in the fire service, we are, but we still, with the expansion, and we'll talk more about that as well, with the expansion of the city, the annexations, you taking on more and more, we probably really need to look at that. But I just want to kind of highlight just some of the fires that we actually been on. So we're looking at 2-alarm fire at Hampton Green Apartments, where 18 people were left displaced, no injuries. 2-alarm fire at a vacant building on Washington Street, 2-alarm fire. From my understanding, there were no injuries, right? There were no injuries. We're looking at, this was a motor vehicle accident on I-26, just coming off of Elmwood, going on to I-26, I-21, 26, sorry. So, and we have been nominated for an award through the State Firefighter Association, which would be awarded in, and we just learned that we're going to receive that award for that rescue. where a car actually ran off the bridge, burst into flames, and all folks was able to get that person out. At our recent awards ceremony, which you would probably see this person, I think we got a picture of him. You'll be able to see this person that actually who came to our award ceremony to thank our firefighter. He did lose a limb, but he was so thankful that he didn't lose his life. So that was very significant. Of course, we had the 2-alarm fire at Providence Park Apartments. That's actually in the county that we had that, and also the fire at Dollar Tree, a 2-alarm fire at the Dollar Tree, and also a 2-alarm fire at Briar Gates Condominium. We had a 2-alarm fire at California Dreaming. We had that as well as a 2-alarm fire with firefighter Mayday. So you know what a Mayday is when a firefighter is in trouble and need to get out. They call it a Mayday, and we have to go in and rescue that person. And we were very successful on that, getting them out. Also, we had a fire at an abandoned apartment building. Greenview house fire with occupant rescue. And a lot of times we don't really talk a lot about our rescues, but you know, this was one that was significant and was able to get that person out of there. Our fire crews do a phenomenal job about getting in there and getting stuff done.
Did the building burn down in Greenview?
It didn't burn down.
This is a picture after the fire.
Right.
Is it in demolishable state?
I'm not sure.
We'll check.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. Some things you don't need to rehab. You just need to tear it down and restart it.
Yes.
All right, 2-alarm fire in the Summit. This is where we had a couple of houses on fire. And that's why we call a second alarm on it, because you have more than one house on fire. So we call a second alarm on it. So, of course, later on, Chief Holloway, he'll be coming back with some other information on this, but we're going, for the purpose of the time, we're going to keep moving. All right, fire prevention division. And we have, he wasn't here in the beginning of the meeting, but we do have Assistant Fire Marshal Benji Leverett, who has taken the helms since Chief Adams has been out. And he's doing a great job of holding everything together in that division, so we appreciate that. So just some figures, even from fire prevention, they did about 700 to 800, over 700 to 800 fire inspections conducted. This was an increase from last year. And we're gonna talk a little more about that because 700 to 800 inspections is a lot. And I don't think people really expect for us to do that many. However, that's what they did, 700 to 800. Did about over 1,500 public education events held, reaching about 36,000 people. 32 fire investigated with the cause determined. Normally, when we investigate a fire, we can normally determine a cause. Sometimes we have to leave it undetermined due to some circumstances or the evidence that is not there, that we don't see. And sometimes we have to leave it to the insurance company to do their cause and origin person to come in and thoroughly investigate it. And sometimes things are just so bad that, you know, and if you think about the fire out there at the apartments where the firefighter died, they had to actually bring equipment in to lift stuff up just so they can see what was going on in those spots. So some fires are just burnt down, so we can't really get in and do a proper investigation.
Chief, let me ask something real quick. Under the fire prevention division, everybody on that team has the title marshals?
Everybody has the title. They are fire marshals.
Fire marshals under the prevention division.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
they are fire marshals. I mean, we got one admin person that is not a fire marshal, but everybody in that division is qualified as a fire marshal.
Understood. Okay, thanks.
Yes, not only to do inspections, but we also have been doing we do have a fire investigator whose primary job is to do investigations, but everybody on the team can pitch in to help. So, and about 280 fire protection systems reviewed. Those be like sprinkler systems, stuff like that. And we installed about 403 smoke alarms in area homes. This was an increase from last year. I know the mayor was talking about the fact that how many alarms were installed in homes, but this was an increase from last year, correct? Okay. And of course, you know, we kicked off our fire prevention parade, which is in October. And what we did for over the last few years, I know last year we did bring it back downtown because I think that was like the 25th annual for last year. But before then, we were actually going through neighborhoods. So this past, and of course, Mr. Brown, you know, you did good to walk.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Mr. Brown did good to walk that long way from Midland Shopping Center up to the Drew Wellness Center. So we were proud of him and the mayor for walking with us. So
So, Mr. Chairman, can I, Chief and Ms. Wilson, so one of the things that I want to tie this to the Economic Development Committee. So one of the things that we're doing is putting together a cost-benefit analysis of $1 billion in economic development. So what I'd like for you to do is to discuss with fire and police, because I know there's multiple layers of investment we can do with the fire department, from infrastructure to training, to more people, to prevention, to smoke alarms, whatever. So what I'd like to do is incorporate that discussion and surveying of needs into that model.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you. So this past fire prevention break, we actually brought it through the Bonneville Road area down there, but we were able to touch 3 schools as we went by. Perry, Watkins Nance, actually 4 schools. Perry, Watkins Nance, C. Johnson, and also Carver Lion. So we were able to, and it was a good reception, and plus a daycare that was on that route as well, and a church they were like doing their food distribution that day. So we were able to touch some folks as we walked along that route. So one other major thing that we did, we actually did a smoke alarm blitz, and we took this. We done it in the city. And we try to do it in association with the Red Cross. And that blitz last year actually took us to the Hollywood Hills neighborhood, which is in 29203. We had a fire death out there, I think the year before. So we wanted to make sure that we were focusing on that area because of the fire death that occurred. So it was a good day. Well, more than 200 alarms were installed in just that one day. So we felt like it was a good campaign. All right, when we look at community highlights, so our public information also, because we already know what goes on from the public information office, but we were able to 30 media press release. We did about 203 interviews between radio, camera, and by phone. We did about 531 online inquiries we had 531 inquiries to the department. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, and I'm not 100% familiar with how the next door neighbor works, but I know one of y'all is, and I want y'all to explain what next door neighbor is.
What next door neighbor?
Coming to the mic.
Oh, I got a big mouth, I'm sorry.
Next door neighbor is like a neighborhood version of Facebook where you have communities that are within, that are part of their group team, where something happens, notification goes out to the subdivisions and whatnot. So it's almost like a neighborhood version of Facebook. That's basically what it is.
And basically, anybody can sign up for it. We actually got it on our website, if I'm not mistaken, how people can actually sign up for it. And it's a very good tool. We had our CFD award ceremony, and whereas we had more than 80 members of the department were honored during our annual award ceremony in March. We also, if you see a familiar face up there, because we also gave Ms. Vi Henley the Chiefs Cross, and that is the Chiefs Award, and that is something that I reserve to give to someone that is deserving. And we were very honored to have our city manager there as well, so she can make the presentation to Ms. Vi. And you talk about making somebody real happy. It felt good.
I know to not be present from Ms. Vi, right? We're gonna hear about it.
That's right. So Ms. Wilson was very present.
She deserves it.
Yes, she did. She is a strong, I'm just gonna say a strong advocate, a person that genuinely cares. She really genuinely cares. And it's not about her, because she was very shocked when she got the award. So, and she was even, to be honest with you, for me to stand up there and give it to her was okay. But I'm gonna be honest with you, she was more impressed and appreciative when Ms. Wilson came up there and presented to her. So,
She's a dear person.
yeah.
You all.
So again, we talk about this ISO class 1 rating. We are still, so, and the good thing about it, although I think we might have dropped 1 point or so or something like that, but we were still well within the boundaries of having a class 1. And what that is, we are, if you think about across the nation, we are in a very low percentile that fire departments got a class 1. And I want to say, I mean, one time, I know it's like somewhere around, or hovering around the 1% of fire departments that actually got this class 1. So again, that really showcases what you are doing. But the one thing about it, and we talk about this thing, that we got to make sure we maintain it and keep it up, going in that direction. So we even with the county, based on the partnership that we have with them, they are at a class 2. So we went from a class 2 to a class 1 several years ago. We've maintained it, and the county went from a 6/9 down to I think it was a 4, and now they're down to a 2. But even with them, there's some things that we can do working together that'll kind of help them out. Also, we participate in the fire truck pool. This was in support of the pediatric cancer research, and we had a new record of raising money to $64,000. Now, one thing they didn't allow us to really, although we pulled and we had the best time. I just gotta say we had the best time, but we didn't participate in the competition to get an award. We did it because we can do it. So, but anyway, and it's coming back up. I think it's coming up in another month or so. It's coming. I think we just sent the release out for it. March 28th. Coming March 28th, and it actually be held right here on Hampton Street, between Main and Assembly. It'll be held there. We also had the Firefighter Feeding Families, which is very something we've been doing. Each year we move up, and I would tell you, my kudos to to our council members who really stepped up to the plate and made it happen. I'll tell you, it was great. And to our city manager, who has always supported us on this initiative, and always been there for us. So, but anyway, last year, as you recall, we fed right around 500 families. This year, we fed over 600, which was great, very great. So we appreciate it. And just to watch everybody, I said one thing that I was really impressed with was to watch the city and the county working so hand in glove together and working hard too. So we appreciate that. The other thing was our Youth Empower Academy. So several years ago, JT and I, we got together and we talked about doing something in the department. And what came out of this is this, and it's really done well each year. And we plan on doing it again this year, which is the Youth Empowerment Academy. And that's where we take, teenagers and we put them in I guess it was a 2-week academy. But last year we only did, it was like around 10 or something like that. But this year we doubled it because we did 2. Instead of doing 1, we did 2 this past year. And we've just met with the Urban League and also had CPD in that discussion as well, because I think they're gonna try to do something similar as well. So hopefully we can reach some youth. So our fleet upgrade in administration, because we put in ladder 7, which some of you came to the push in, engine 12, which some of you came to the push in, and Ms. Herbert D was all in your district that we put in 2 new app.
I pushed something.
Ma'am,
I pushed to pull something one day.
you pushed it in?
I don't know.
I think I almost think that.
Elmwood, I was at, not Elmwood, Cottontown.
Yeah, but I almost think that, we put you there because we needed somebody that could really push in a big ladder truck. And, we might have had our hands on it, but we knew who was doing all the pushing.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime I can throw a commercial in, you let me know. But also, we had Swiftwater truck, 4 new Nissan support trucks for our support techs, new training truck, solar boat, Swiftwater package, a double stake boat trailer with 2 galvanized boats and 2 inflatables, which is important for what goes on in the river down there. We're always down there doing something. So the next thing is our burn building. So I want to kind of give you a little showcase of where we are. It's already been started on. It's moving pretty quick. And those are the latest. I'm quite sure Mickey probably got some latest picture later than these. But this is where we are when we did the presentation. So thank you all for funding that for us. It's going to be huge. And we got to have it to make sure we keep our folks trained up, just to make sure there are so many training hours we got to have in order to keep our class 1. And so you all are making this happen. When you look at the hydrants, we completed about 15,500 inspections in 2025, which include flow tests and work order repairs. Currently, just this year, we already done 2,400, a little over 2,400 hydrants so far this year. So we're on a good pace right now. There's a space needs study that was done, and I think Chief Folsom brought those with you, right? But I'm gonna get him to just kind of give you a little brief synopsis on our space needs study, if you come up, Mickey. But while he's coming, I also want to thank you all. Well, I'll wait till the next slide.
So you know what a space needs study is, right? So what we did was we looked at our deficiencies in different areas as far as structure, dormitory, space needs, bathroom needs, privacy needs, and just being updated. So what we did a space needs study on our older stations in the city, and we came up with a plan. So the plan did not only just tell you what we need to do, but it gave us options. So we give an option A and an option B. Option for repair and remodel or replace. Sometimes it's more cost effective to replace it because of the cost, because now you got to try to remodel to put in a hot zone, warm zone, a cold zone. So based on the cancer initiative, we now know, based on the state and evidence, the data shows that firefighters have a higher rate of cancer and being in contact with carcinogens. And so we have to do our part to make sure that we provide the proper protection barriers with our guys. So hot zone, warm zone, cold zone, space needs. What has happened in the past, this is not our grandfather's firehouse no more. Now we have females and we have different things that we have to do. And so that's part what brought into our space needs study. And we do have a copy of it though, if needed.
So you have this.
Yes, sir.
So what do you do with it? I mean, we start chipping away at it. Is this something that goes for education to county folks, to city folks?
I think it's twofold. So it's education to show you exactly what we need from an independent study. And also, we broke it down into each individual station instead of having one package. We do understand that we can't, it's one bite at a time. We can't eat the whole elephant at the same time. So it does give a plan to help, navigate how do we go, step by step.
Have you bolted on construction prices, renovation prices?
Yes, sir. That's in the package.
Do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it'd be worthwhile to share with council. You know what you think, Ms. Wilson, just so we know what the future
Absolutely.
snapshot looks like?
We do, and it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, and it's from a budgeting perspective, until I know a part of this modeling is looking into the future with so many things coming online, which is needs to be informed by their additional needs to serve all these things coming online. So it all works together, for sure. Another mechanism for sharing needs to be through the fire committee, the joint committee with county council members that have been appointed and the city council members that have been appointed. Because I don't want to go down a whole path that even just recently Chief has had to have a urgent discussion, and it would be great if we can get that committee really working, and they're the respective members who are aware of these needs, because the whole body can't always, be, the respective members need to be bringing it back to the whole body, and hopefully the whole body recognizes that if the chief and the team have brought something to the committee, that it's necessary, or vetted at the committee level.
And just for our education, revenue sources include, I guess, local government, just general funds, is there a part of the property tax millage that goes towards actual capital
Yes.
improvement projects?
Well, the millage that's tied now through getting it through the county, additional, 2 cents and a penny that we got a couple years back. I don't know that we've tied it to capital.
I don't think we did.
I don't think it's tied to capital, but that's another thing we probably need to review as from a budgetary perspective. And I mentioned this a little bit to y'all last time we were together. From a public safety perspective, what our citizens will be comfortable with. If we get to the point that we need to address some of these things.
Well, I was just about to say, it sounds like that needs to be one of the main topics of conversation at the joint review with the county delegation and the city delegation about what's the 3, 5, 10, 15-year outlook,
Yeah,
So,
we agree.
And I'm glad Ms. Wilson brought that up, because that was one of the things why it really had not been really distributed, because really was trying to wait on that fire advisory committee meeting, because I think that it don't just encompass the city, but it encompass the counties, where probably more, to be honest with you, on the county than on the city. Okay. All right. The other thing is Olympia Fire Station. So last year you all gave approval for us to although it's in the workings, but it still wanted to mention because you all passed it in 2005. So I wanted to thank you all for that, and it's moving right along, and the groundbreaking was great. And it seems to me like I'm hoping it moves quicker than what we anticipated. But that's going to be a great day, and we'll talk about the name later.
What do you think, and you think that's a pretty standard design moving forward? It meets kind of the new age of professional fire
Yes,
safety?
because it's going to encompass all the things that Chief Folsom talked about. Hot zone, warm zone, it's going to encompass all the privacy, with the new way right now. I mean, you got to have some privacy.
All right.
Okay. In our professional services, last year, 2025, we hired 68 employees. We talking about 58 standard recruits, 8 certified firefighters. Those are people who already got experience. Now, just because they're certified don't mean that we don't put them through a class. But it's not as long as the 18 weeks of a recruit class. It's like eight weeks. It's like 8 weeks. We also hired 2 fire training officers, 2 support technicians, and 1 fire analyst specialist, 1 lead administrator assistant. Recruit, when we do recruitment, we had about 615 interest forms that we received, people that was interested in joining the fire service. So that was just interest form, but application, we actually received about 929. But that don't mean that everybody, show up or whatnot. But 38 recruitment event is what they attended through Chief Kip and his team. They attended 38 recruitment events. And so this is kind of 25 at a glance. We have 426 employees. On December 31, 2025, we have 450 employees. We currently have 474 employees in the fire department as of March. Now, that number does include the recruits that we got in class right now, correct? Okay, it does. And our plan is once this graduate, I think in August is when our next recruit class that we're planning, and we will see what our residual is and how many people we need to hire. So we're doing everything that we can to get staffed up.
So what's full capacity on staffing?
It's about 508.
Okay.
Now, that don't include volunteers. So, and I'm gonna let Chief Kip talk a little bit about, what kind of community engagement they're doing and the outreach and empowerment as well.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Council and City Manager. In my mind, we have really reinvigorated our community engagement for recruitment, and then also bring that into some retention too. As you can see during the community engagement, we've gone to various different community meetings, and some of those are, most of them are through the school or through different professional organizations to get the word out of the values of becoming a firefighter. We have reached out to applicants through a innovation called Digital Dialogue, which are Zoom meetings where we can engage tens, if not hundreds of applicants at one time to tell them about the profession and the benefits. And it's just an example of we refurbished our marketing and trying to be more eye-catching. One thing we've taken from learning the value of engagement for recruitment is also to think how we can apply it to retention. We have a challenge of losing recruits during recruit school, but before recruit schools, the past 2, we've initiated engagement meetings where we bring the applicants together for open houses and not only tell them about the expectations that we have, but share with them about the firefighting culture, share with them about our fire department to get them hooked. and to give them that the feel of family that we believe will help them get through recruit school. Because as you all know, the firefighting profession is a difficult one, and recruit school is intentionally difficult to try to fashion the people who can succeed.
Have y'all had the C.A. Johnson program for the high school, junior high school? Is that scalable, or takes a lot of local district effort, I think, right?
It takes a lot of district effort, and C.A. Johnson still is in its infancy. There are examples of very successful programs out in the outskirts of the county, Westwood High School, for example.
Okay.
C.A. Johnson is still trying to get its feet on the ground.
And do you see that as a feeder for firefighting professionals? I mean, do we have folks on the team that have come through those ranks?
A small number. Yeah, it hasn't. The high school programs haven't been the kind of success that's been hoped for. Most of the time, students go on to do other things, but the handful that do retain an interest in the fire service have been real valuable for us.
Any coordination with the tech schools?
Not with Midlands Tech. Lexington has those relationships.
Okay. Thank you.
The Narcan administration is currently managed under my office, just because of my history when I was over operations, and then in part of helping the city with determining what to do with SCORE funds. This is just a quick sketch of where we are. It shows the graph at top. Blue is 2024, red is 2025. You can see where the Narcan administrations are growing in the respective zip code areas. This, the Fire Service administers Narcan when there's an indication of potential opioid use. So that's the best information we have for that local problem. This is a map produced by Ms. Amy Free, who works for Trevon Fordham in the Neighborhood Safety Bureau. And it shows, it's a heat map of where the Narcan administrations are. And we have a very detailed PowerPoint in this if y'all are interested in specifics. We work hand in hand with Mr. Fordham and his bureau to provide them information so that they can decide how best to administer the SCORE funding.
I'm glad you all included that. That's really helpful.
It's a scary picture of what's going on.
Yeah, and the compliance with those SCORE funds, the grant funding, so that's helpful to see that we're keeping up with it that way, and that can be included in the reports.
Okay, good. And we do have a very, very thorough report of it if you all wish to see that. The staffing office initiatives, these are mostly internal, but it does show the very fluid and very responsive communication we have internally. For instance, fielding 4,000 plus phone calls, 4,000 plus emails that year, and these are communications solely taking care of our firefighters, pay issues, permissive leave issues, to make sure that they are taken care of properly. The next side of things are volunteer. You can go on to the next. This is just a quick snapshot of our volunteer program, which is our volunteers serve out in the county regions, and we have multiple stations that they use as home base. It's a quick snapshot. We have a separate recruit school for training those volunteers, and these are some statistics of how many training hours they completed, how many emergencies they've responded to. Okay, Chief.
So one thing I did want to say about the Narcan, so we actually got an award through the governor's office that was presented to us for administering Narcans, and to folks who are suffering through those overdoses. So we were recipients of that. And also one extra thing I want to say about volunteers. Once upon a time, volunteers were more popular than they are today. And because, it was more or less designed when people were working from home or working on farms, working in factories that were in town and stuff like that. So when the alarm went off, you had volunteers that responded to the calls. I know the city of Columbia has been a professional. Volunteers are professionals, so I'm not going to take that away, but more of a paid since 1903. So you kind of see the history that we got. But anyway, volunteers, it's hard to get volunteers right now because of the demands, job demands and stuff like that. So the other thing that I did want to kind of touch on was health and safety. And, I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to let Chief Uso come up here and kind of walk y'all through this health and safety presentation.
Thank you. So in 2025, we had 76 fire apparatus incidents, and these were all moving accidents. There were 65 firefighter injuries while on duty. There were no serious injuries or hospitalizations. And then we had 3 exposure incidents where firefighters were exposed to, in this particular case, it was mercury when they went to investigate mercury spill at a home. If you look at the graph at the bottom, injury trends, you'll notice that since 2019, there's been a downward trend on the amount of injuries we're having. However, in 2024, you see that sharp spike, which sometimes raises some eyebrows. But that was due to a recruit class that we had, where recruits were getting injured during what we call a tower run. There's a tower where they climb up and down the tower as part of exercise and also part of training on doing high-rise buildings as well. And so we narrowed it down to that. Upon investigation, we found that it was infrastructural issues. The steps were damaged, they were slippery, and so the training division was able to fix that, and immediately those type of injuries diminished. So we don't have that anymore. On firefighter wellness, the city has the EAP program, which is very good. A lot of our firefighters use that. But we also acknowledge that in the fire service nationwide, there's a high incidence of suicide rates among firefighters. There's a high incidence of divorces as well. And so we've always tried to find other access to behavioral health programs. In 2019, the owners of post-trauma resources approached us, and the sheriff's department and the police and some other fire departments around the Midlands, and proposed a program which they called FLOW, Family Life Officer Wellness Program. We went and spoke to them about it, and upon discussion realized it was the type of program we've been looking for our firefighters. In this program, there are benefits available for the firefighter as well as his entire family. And so if you look on the chart up there, you will see that in 2025, we had 80 individual firefighters or 80 individual personnel that attended sessions with our flow counselor. However, there were 148 sessions where an entire families attended as well. So what we've been seeing is that with this program, our flow counselor is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If a firefighter is having issues at midnight, I can call her and she's immediately available to talk the firefighter through the night so that they can have a sit-down session the next morning, and it's been working very well.
So where did you say the flow counselor is? Is that an outside service? I don't think I was even aware of this, or is this someone that's trained and it's not a staffed person?
No, this is Post-Trauma Resources, which is located at 1709.
Okay.
Yes, the previous owner, Dr. Bergman, had been volunteering his services to us since 1980s. And then when he retired, the new owners brought up this program for us.
Right.
So it's a licensed counselor who used to be a sheriff's deputy for, I think, 20 years before she retired. We'll talk about this couple. Yeah, that's it. All right, and then the next graph just shows our workers' compensation claims over the past year. You can also see that there was an upward trend up until around 2022, mid 2022, and then we've been steadily decreasing. The amount of injuries reported increases because we encourage firefighters to report every injury. This allows us to find where the problems are and fix them. However, the amount of injuries that end up with a workers' comp claim has been decreasing. And that's due to firefighter education on injury prevention, as well as making sure they report injuries soon enough where immediate action can be taken whether it's physical therapy they need or maybe go to a doctor for immediate assistance so that the injury doesn't get worse. That's all I have. Thank you.
So, some of the stuff that you heard, even that Chief Folsom was talking about when we look at cancer exposure and prevention. So we actually trying to hit that, hit that more and more to make sure that so even through our health screenings, there's a provision in our health screening when they do their physical every year that it can be captured during that time when we send them to the clinic to have their health screening. So, their physicals. And we ongoing decontamination practice of our PPE, protective gear, and exposure reporting and tracking, cancer prevention, education effort. We got a real good cancer education initiative on right now, and it was actually devised out of my firefighters from the Fat Cat. Yeah, it's from the Fat Cat, where I meet with firefighters every quarter, and they came up with this initiative to really help people tell their story. Not only tell their story, but looking at ways that we can really, kind of combat. The biggest thing is not just contract it, but try to prevent it. So they are putting all their efforts into trying to, and they're doing a really good job. We've done several videos where we have firefighters actually tell their story, and that's great. So, in 2025, we had I would tell we had more going on than what we talked about here. But we just want to give you a little snapshot of kind of where we were, and now we want to kind of give you a little snapshot of where we're going. And for this right here, I'm going to actually let my staff come up here and they can talk about these different areas when we're talking about operations. Okay.
All right, so one of the things, there's no shortage of needs in the system, going from station renovation to upkeep, staffing. But this is, the focus on the operations is the need for a new station and some new companies. So Broad River Road Corridor is one of our busiest corridors. And we rely heavily right now on an automatic aid agreement with the Fire District of Irmo. In the consultant report that you received 3 years ago, it detailed that the ladder company for Irmo comes into our district about 1,000. Yeah, gotcha. About 1,000 times a year, which is busier than some of the county units in our system. So we see the Irmo engine enter our district 800 times a year, roughly, and the ladder enter about 1,200 actually times a year. And one of the things that Chief Jenkins always brings up is that Auto Aid is an absolutely important thing. Like, we do not want to be a island department, and we've worked very hard building relationships with our response partners, and even crafting our tactics so that they match, so that our personnel fit in well together. However, one thing that we need to be aware of is that, and so the idea is that our resources should meet our basic needs, and then Auto Aid should backfill into where we already have units operating. In the Broder Road corridor, that's not the situation we have. And one of the things that we have to be aware of is that since the Auto Aid agreement was signed, Irmo has moved the location of its ladder company, which does have an effect on our ability to make our standards of cover in that corridor. So just a quick summary, standards of cover require that the first unit arrive in 4 minutes, the first engine company arrive in 4 minutes, the second company arrives in 8 minutes, and the entire balance of the alarm arrives in 10 minutes. Once the Irmo ladder moved to its headquarters station away from our jurisdictional border, it's still a valuable resource to us because we can't get a city ladder into that area as quickly as the Irmo ladder. However, its new location does not allow it to meet standards of cover ever. So you'll see on this map that's available to you. So the green, it's a little bit hard on the screen, but in the map in your actual handout, the dark green is the 4-minute drive time area, response area, and the light green is the 8-minute response area for the Irmo ladder. The pink is the Columbia stations, specifically 16. 6 is actually not depicted here. And the dotted line in between is the Lexington Richland border. So what you can see is that the green for Irmo actually does not go very far over the Richland line, and the outskirts of that is 8-minute. So when the ladder is coming to us, we know that it's going to be about 8 minutes before we have a ladder truck to that call. So with them moving, with the Irmo Fire Department needing to move their truck to their headquarters station, it has a significant impact on our standards of cover. Not to mention, it's a very busy region. So our proposal is to add a ladder truck in the Broder Road corridor. And there's actually 3, so we have to look at the Broder Road corridor as a 3-phase project because there's some movement that has to be made for us to maintain standards of cover. And one of the important things about this area and why this is a good area to start with development is it's important when we're putting new resources on that we look at the overall call volume, because we can put on multiple resources, but if the call volume's not there, we're not getting the credit from ISO because ISO looks at us after we went to a call. In Broder Road, you have the call volume that would make this investment worthwhile. So, could you go back to station 16 first? All right, so the concept here is that the ladder would initially go to station 16, which is a station that exists. It has a room for a ladder truck and for the additional crew. And it would be the easiest move that doesn't require a station being built. Its proper position would actually be in a new Station 6, which is a third step of this, right? So the idea is the first step is we add a ladder company to an existing station at 16, and immediately, as you see on the top of the screen, our reach of how many of our residents that we can reach in that 4 and 8 minute response time requirement increases significantly, 100% actually, because Irmo is not able to make that standard at all. Then if we can go to Station 5. So in previous years, this was identified as a needed move. When Broder Road's population really exploded better than 20 years ago, this property at Canal Street was purchased as well as one at Beatty Road. And those two, that is where Station 5 and Station 6 should actually sit. So Station 5 is at Canal Drive. GIS tells us that we have about 22,000 residents in the 2.5 mile response area around the station. It has better than 1,200 multi-family dwellings, which is important because there's a huge concentration of apartment complexes down there. And this is actually would be the first due engine to the Stone Ridge fire, where we had the line of duty death. This station sits directly between two of our busiest stations, 6 and 13. You can see on this map, this is now the colors, the GIS put these maps in green. So the green is the 4-minute response time area, and the yellow is the 8-minute. Right now, you see that there is a gap between 6 and 13, which is on the other side of the river. 5 is in blue, and 5 would close that gap for us, but when it does, it ends up being a little too close to 6, which is a station that's about to be 55 years old and is in desperate need of a major renovation. And really, on the size property, we could, Mr. Brennan, you had asked previously if the new station is what we need. The plot that we have at Station 6, even if we could renovate the station, wouldn't give us enough room to put in the cold, warm, hot zone, the amenities now. A lot of those stations built in the 70s have team showers. None of our personnel are interested. So we have showers that hold between 4 and 8 people with 3 shower heads in an open shower bay and only one personal shower at a time. So 6 needs a major renovation. The property is not conducive to the renovation, but the city owns a piece of property at Beatty Road and Broad River that would be the perfect position for 6. So the Broad River corridor is a 3-phase project as we propose it. A ladder truck comes into Station 16. Station 5 is built, and Engine 5 goes into service. Station 6 is relocated to Beatty Road, and when Station 6 goes into service, the city would benefit from the ladder moving down to 6 and out of 16.
Are there any initial designs or anything?
The Station 2 would probably not fit on either of the plots that the city has, so we would have to look at another design.
Well, how much is a ladder truck?
About just shy of 2. Well, let's say $2 million.
Gotcha. But that, you're saying that would be the first of the 3 phases?
Right. So the first phase has an immediate impact with the lowest cost, which is the cost of the ladder plus the staffing. The station exists, and it was designed to hold 8 people, so there's no renovation to the station necessary.
All right.
Next piece is Battalion 6. We currently divide the jurisdiction into 5 battalions. These battalions are chief officers who command incidents and also administer fire station personnel. This 6th battalion is actually a hybrid proposal. So the proposal here is that we have a need for another response battalion. We regularly are running more than one working fire incident, and OSHA and NFPA standards have safety elements built in, and we regularly run out of battalions. We don't have enough battalions. So the 6th battalion is necessary, but immediately they wouldn't necessarily have to administer over personnel. And we have a very significant need in our health and safety department. We have a department of 500 people with Chief Owuzu being the only health and safety officer, which he does a tremendous job. But we need presence on shift. And so our proposal is that the chief battalion, Battalion 6 comes online. It meets the need of the additional battalion on these fire scenes. And when they're not on responding to emergencies, they are acting as health and safety deputies working under Chief Owuzu. And that would allow us to do near-miss investigations, accident investigations, assist with workers' comp claims, all of the pieces that a department our size could require help with. And this was actually a recommendation from both the OSHA and NIOSH investigation after the Tropical Ridge line of duty death. The last the last proposal is a contingent proposal. So one of the things that one of the challenges that we are faced is that the EMS system all across the nation is overwhelmed. And the fire system backs into that. Now, in some places, the fire system is also transporting, so that there's some revenue. In our situation, we provide care to the patients, but we don't bill because Richland EMS is the transport agency. However, our units will average about 20 to 30 minutes on scene, and on some occasions get up to an hour on scene. This is amount of time that an engine company is not available in its home district, which means during that time, we can pretty much guarantee we're not going to make standards of cover because another engine is moving from their area to respond to this area in your council district, right? So the quick response vehicles, and also there's a tremendous amount of wear and tear on these vehicles. It's similar to if you ordered something from Amazon and they sent a tractor trailer to your house rather than a delivery vehicle. So we're bringing these $2 million ladder trucks and 1.5 million, well, one change for the engines now, right? $1 million.
Are these the EMS trucks, like the pickup trucks you see speeding?
Yeah, very similar. It would be actually like the battalion vehicle that was on the last. And so it's a light vehicle. The maintenance is a lot less expensive. The fuel is less expensive. Well, to start off, we'd like one, but one of the key things to this is that it really is not cost effective unless we get a contract, memorandum of understanding for an affiliated, for affiliation with Richland County EMS.
Yeah, I mean, do you have that drafted as to the why that kind of shows it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we can provide that.
That's another line, that's another topic for joint review.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And it benefits their system equally. I mean, it allows us to, because so an example of how this assists the EMS system, right now, if an engine company in Gadsden is at a home and the resident says, I don't want to go to the hospital, with our level of care, we are not able to sign a waiver. So an EMS unit leaving Baptist Hospital has to travel out to Gadsden to get a signature. And that our fire truck is staying on scene all that time, and their ambulance is not available for another call. So this is a win all the way around. We just need to get a little traction on this.
How do you present that in a mindful manner for folks like us that once we do grasp it and we see the manpower, the time, the funding, that it could be doing more.
Yeah.
How do you present that?
Yeah, so that's some of the things data is obviously one point because the data shows it very clearly. We can show exactly how long our engines stay on average on medical calls. What we don't have, the piece of the puzzle that is we don't have access to is we can't get any data from EMS. So we can't say how we're going to help their system other than anecdotally because we're not able to get their response data.
You have a pretty good idea, right?
Yeah, we can kind of reverse data it by looking at when we got the call and how long it was until an EMS unit got onto our scene, onto the scene that we're holding.
All right.
I think it's the audience too, Councilman, Mr. Chair. And this same concept or discussion is what we've talked to you a little bit about as it relates to standing up the service over at the Recovery Community Center. And so it's working if we can just bridge this last little gap. But I think that Fire Services Committee, where we've had maybe some of these discussions on the staff level, but bringing it directly to the committee may help bring awareness.
One advantage we do have is that the system is working right now across the river. Lexington Fire and Lexington County EMS have a memorandum of understanding that we have possession of. And it shows exactly how the agreement was made. And it's actually perfect in our setting where we are not directly billing because we, in the city, we're paying for the medical supplies that are used. We're not billing. And this memorandum of understanding allows the fire trucks to operate as affiliate units with the EMTs and a set of equipment that is designated by the medical control. We already share medical control. Richland EMS and us who use Dr. Robinson. So a lot of the pieces are already in place. We have the training for our EMTs. We have 64 EMTs to offer them the moment that the contract is signed.
Perfect. Chief, we've got a couple pages and some big asks, so don't overwhelm us with these next ones, all right? So let us digest it.
I know, I just pulled them off these pages out that I had to take with me to.
We're gonna let you.
The grand finale is on its way here.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Let's talk prevention.
Okay, I just want to say one thing about a ladder truck. We don't necessarily have to buy a ladder truck at this moment in order to do what we need to do in the Broadway Road corridor, but it's going to take some strict collaboration with the county, because they got a new ladder truck that is not in service right now, and we need to put. I mean, I'm just going to say it out loud. We need to put it in service. And we make it, and we put it in a certain station, we can actually move a truck out, move that ladder out of Station 4, and we can put it over this side, but we have to put an engine in Station 4 though. But, but that would save.
Out of service because of maintenance?
What, the ladder?
Yeah.
No, it's a brand new ladder,
It's not rolling.
not rolling. Brand new. And I venture to say by the time it started rolling, if it ain't careful, then, the warranty gonna be out.
I hear you.
So,
All right.
but anyway, moving quickly. I'm sorry.
Committee.
We got a lot to talk about in that fire committee. I'm just tell you right now. So moving along, prevention, basically, with the expansion of Brewer Street, construction of a five-star hotel and hospitality developments, new residential mixed-use developments, and the continued growth of the business and also just the annexation is really taxing our fire prevention division, although they're doing a great job. As you see that they had a lot of inspections going on. But we just need to at least give them some relief, and we need to cut more fire marshals just so we can keep up with the demands of what they're faced with.
Well, and done that point directly, Councilman Brown, to
Yeah.
the increase in property taxes, the wedge of that pie.
Yep.
And is that a hireable option for that, for those revenues?
Yeah. One thing we have not considered when you start talking about revenue, and I guess that's something, that you all have to discuss when you start talking about cost recovery. Now, we're doing cost recovery on our hazmat stuff, but there's a provision that you can do cost recovery for fire calls. Something that does it, you got other folks that do it. And it does not cost the homeowner, if you're talking about not raise taxes, it does not cost the homeowner anything because they're already paying for it in their insurance premium. And if there's a fire at their home, you can actually bill the insurance. I mean, because if your house burned down or whatever the case may be, you got a loss, you can actually, and it's not a big, I know when I talked about it, and I actually talked about this in 2012, and when I ran the numbers back then, it was like $1 million on both sides of the budget.
And how's that work?
So if you have a fire in your home or any place, then there is a certain amount that you can there is a scale already out there that you can bill for the equipment that respond. You can bill for personnel that responds. So there's already, we don't have to reinvent the wheel because there's
But that goes straight to the insurance company, not the property owner, to give to the insurance company.
So let me tell you how some departments do it. Now, some people, they use a third party to bill, but one particular one that I won't call their name, they just send it straight to the insurance company, and they won't pay though. But then they'll send it again, and then they'll pay because there's a provision, and the thing about it is legal in South Carolina to do that. Now, I think that there might be a handful of states, maybe 15 or whatever the case may be, that don't allow it. But the rest of, it's even endorsed by the International Association of Fire Chiefs. And they got a third party that they recommend. But that's some discussion that we really need to have.
Yeah, we used to provide some some examples of the state, of municipalities or departments that do it. You could give that to Ms. Wilson.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. And we got several of them in this state that does it. I tell you that.
Let us
I
know.
tell you what, you go have an accident in Georgia. I mean, you know, you probably gonna get a bill from them if you at fault. Not talking about accident now. So their law enforcement, they use for them that purpose as well.
Oh, so you're saying like car accidents? stuff
If you're in
like
a car, yeah,
that. Oh, wow.
they use cost recovery.
Administration.
So, but again, we really need some more. Oh, you pushing me along. Now, the first thing you told me when I walk in the room, you say, Chief, you got until 1:55.
No, I said 2:55, but we're
Oh,
still on
you
that.
said you did say 2:55, didn't you?
2:55.
You sure did.
I thought you were. I really thought he was.
1:55 sounded better.
Well, we gonna y'all got the presentation, and I hope that you would take a look at it.
Next slide says beach house.
Oh, you must have looked at my slides. So administrate, of course, we're working on training. We need to work on the training tower. We got the burn building. We definitely need to move forward with a training tower. Also, a logistics building as well. And you know, and we talked about the space needs study implementation. So we definitely move with that.
Yeah, and again, as nicely presented as you could bring it forward for us to digest, not just the council, but also county council, I think that would be great.
Absolutely.
The other thing I was gonna ask is, when we talked about fire stations 5 and 6, all right, did I hear that we're not 100% in love with the land that we've got picked out for those stations?
Well, the land that Station 6 is sitting on right now, you can build up, but you can't build out.
So on the new land though, we're okay with the new land?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
we gotta make sure it's,
Land's cheaper than the building, so if we want new land, we gotta go find
so we
new
got
land.
land down at Beta Road, so the proposal is to take Station 6, instead of rehabbing that building because it's too
I
small.
get it. I'm just saying, just make sure we got the land that we really want. The land's the cheapest part of the deal, especially out there. So if we need, if we need a bigger parcel or some or future, growth or whatever, just make sure we don't put a, $10 million building on the wrong $300,000 lot. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely true.
Cause it's gonna be there for.
Yeah, because we and
Yeah.
It's gonna be there
yes, it's right.
another 56
Yeah,
years.
another 50-some years. So
Well, we want to worry
50
about
to
it.
life sentence.
Right, while we there.
Well, I agree, and that's why we're talking about future fire station. We need to look at all our fire stations.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
and you think of some of these other places, I'm lucky I'm pretty close to Divine Street. But at some point, I'm gonna guess Divine Street's probably, that might not be the best place for that station. I don't know. So, just something, what we really wanna do as a committee and as a council and as with the city manager, is we wanna look at at least a 10-year, plan for everybody.
And I think it's important to have these conversations because, and I appreciate the dialogue today because it's very important. So,
So you got facilities, you got rolling stock. You're about to talk about pay plan review.
okay, just the step pay plan, we really need to at least keep our hand, the pulse on that right there because, see, what happens is when we take one step, I'm gonna tell you, other departments take another step. And that seems like that's just the name of the game. People take as a step. So we really need to be focusing and taking a relook at what we're doing. I think it's,
Nikki, that's something you can pull through in the 10-year plan, right? The expectations for pay plan escalators, recruitment, retention, all that.
yep, we can definitely do that. So basically, what we talked about even on the future health and safety. I don't need to regurgitate that. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Take a look at it. Any questions that you may have or any clarification, we'll put together what you all has asked us to do to make it more clearer for anybody can understand it or whatnot. But listen, don't think we're not grateful for what you all are already doing, because you phenomenal at what you do. We appreciate you, and we know you care not only about the fire service, but you care about the city as well. And all we want to do is make sure that we're good stewards over everything that you provide to us, and that we're using it wisely. And we want to make this city look good, and we want to make this council look good. Definitely make our city man look good. You
If you
know,
think about it, the investment that we want to make, it's a community investment, but it's also an investment in y'all. And there's a quality of life aspect that we talk about with everything we do. So your quality of life is just as important. Yeah, it really is. You have to think about the long-term, not just health benefit, but emotional, psychological benefit
absolutely.
of
You said
being living.
you said the right word, psychological.
Yeah, it's important, and that's part of our investment in y'all is you as a person.
Ms. Councilwoman Herbert,
Right.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you have any questions, comments?
I do not. Thank you for the excellent presentation.
So Chief, we're going to rely on you to drive forward the joint review committee.
Right.
So please keep Ms. Wilson tuned into that. And then I think we need to actually review who is on that board. It's been a while since we have met.
It is,
Received, I
Miss-
think,
Miss,
the
uh,
names
Miss-
from the county recently.
Mr.
You all had major appointments.
Oh, we have? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Pugh, Miss,
Oh.
shoot.
Shanique, do you have that handy by any chance? The list of
Oh,
fire
Miss English, Mr. Pugh.
committee members? Huh?
Who's our side?
That's our side is Mr. Brennan.
Recommend Bailey, Ms. Wilson.
Okay.
Good, that's a good.
And
Well,
That's a
we
good strong
can
team.
email, Shanique, let's get the city-county list and share it with
Okay,
the committee here.
perfect. But again, we're here whenever you are, all right?
all right, thank y'all so
Thank y'all
much.
so much for
All
this
right.
great update.
Thank you,
Well
Ms.
done,
Profile.
gentlemen.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Forward.
Very thorough.
Very thorough.
All right, is there any future
Oh, I'm
questions,
sorry.
future business? If not, we'll do a roll call for adjournment, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yes,
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes, thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.